Hey guys, it's Samantha from Black Nation News, and I am here reporting some really disturbing information as far as critical race theory. I just found out from NBC News that Florida has just passed legislation to ban critical race theory being taught in our American schools. And me personally, as a mom of five black sons, I do think that black parents should begin pulling their children out in droves. um, it's just unacceptable. I'm already homeschooling my older sons, and I really do have issue with putting my younger sons in elementary school. Once this new year starts, we have a 5-year-old who is starting kindergarten this year, and I've already made up my mind that not only will I be teaching him the truth when he comes home about the country that he lives in and the history of this country, but they will not be attending middle school and high school when they're older and they can stay home by themselves and do their tutoring and their studies um, remotely, because this is unacceptable. This country is racist. I don't care how much they try to change it around, whitewash it, lie, bury stuff under the carpet. It's not going to work. With technology alone, with the things that they did back in the 1900s or the 1800s, where the daughters of the Confederacy came together and decided this is how we're going to write the history books and basically rewrite history to what the crap is today that my kids are all of our children are learning. It's just not going to happen like that again, because there's too much technology, there's too much information out there. This is actually literally called the information age. So for these politicians, I try not to. I can't help but be extremely angry, even though I know that what they're trying to do, because they're terrified by the fact that they are just quickly becoming a minority. I just cannot not let it anger me. And the reason why it angers me the most is because not only is this country racist, but this country they're liars. You don't lie to children. This country does so much crap that's so bad, especially to African Americans. You don't lie to children. That's to me, that's just where you draw the line. This is the future. They're the ones who's going to grow up and become the next politicians, the next presidents of the United States, the next, business owners, every school teachers, so on and so forth. And how long are we going to allow our government to continue to continue to pass down to states that you have to teach children lies? And over the years, I've seen so many teachers, black, white, all types of races, getting in trouble for trying to teach kids what is just the fucking truth. It's the truth. And I'm so sick of looking at these stupid Republicans constantly lying through their fucking teeth. I mean, we know politicians lie, but they lie like they're getting paid for it. And oh my God. Oh, my bad. I forgot. They are getting paid to lie. They do it all the time. They're blatantly, but I think what pisses me off, they blatantly are lying now. And what power as as Americans do we have at this point? And I know for me as a mother, I will snatch my kids out of these raggedy ass schools and teach them my damn self. Or if my sons are still allowed to even go to these schools, it would be mainly because it's a glorified babysitting place while I have to go to work. But they will be getting homeschooled when they get older and they can stay home by themselves, because I still have to go to work, and childcare is ridiculous. I'm not paying that either. So I'm just keeping it 100, you guys. You know how I do. I do not come on here and present airs like I got it like that, or I'm a multimillionaire or whatever. But trust and believe, if I could afford to keep my children at home, or honestly, I would rather join a black homeschool co-op so that my children can be around other children that look like them. They can be around their peers. They can get that social, interaction that's good and healthy for children. They can play and have fun and have friends. And that really would be what I desire. But if they have to be just with their brothers, their siblings, and their cousins, whenever they get to see their cousins, then so be it. That's pretty much how my older sons have grown up, and they're just fine. They have plenty of siblings. They have a few friends here and there, but mostly it's their family. And if you look at Mormons and other types of groups, that's how they raise their children. They primarily are really just within families of the religious sect, which sometimes they actually are all related because they have like 100 different wives with 100 different kids. with one man having sex with everybody. So, whew, that's neither here nor there. But anyway, so I would, I have actually started already looking online for Black homeschool co-ops, and I would definitely actively participate and even be a teacher if I have to. I would love to teach the kids about entrepreneurship and finances and just everything under the sun that I know these ghetto schools ain't gonna teach anyway. And when I say ghetto, I mean every American school in this country is raggedy. Because if you can't even teach children the truth about the history of your country because it is that ratchet, this country ain't shit. That's what I'm gonna tell you right now. Because you can't even pay black people reparations, and that's what it really comes down to when the truth comes out, which it already has. But when these young children who haven't even started school yet, like my son, my 5-year-old, go to school and they start to have an eye opener, what do you think is going to happen in 20 years from now? I'm going to be like in my, I don't know, 50s, and we might actually see the first reparation payouts go out because these kids are going to grow up. They're going to become politicians, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, etc. And they're going to do things that make sense because that's where we're headed. Like, it's time to do things that make sense. The shit we've been doing of yesteryear is gone and bye-bye. I mean, unless this country continues to dumb down our generations, which I don't see that happening because of technology. Like, children are learning. I see children that are very active in politics. They know a lot more about a lot of things because they have literally a computer in their hand or in their pocket at any given time, and they stay on their computers. I know my 14-year-old is always on YouTube, and he's not just on there playing video games. Like, he's watching all kinds of content that he's learning so much stuff about all over the world, like world news, things that I had no interest in when I was a kid. So these kids are brilliant. They're extremely intelligent, and God has designed it this way, guys. It has been prophecy that this is to happen. Like, as far as like white people not really being able to create babies anymore, their numbers are dwindling. That's why they're freaking out and they're trying to overthrow their own government. It's like, where are they going to be? Like, I just feel like, where are you going to be 10 years from now, 20 years from now? Like, how desperate and silly are they going to be acting in like 20 years? I mean, they're killing black people who are unarmed. They're running around, doing these mass shootings. That's why I didn't even want my children in the public school system to begin with, because of that alone. I'm just like, what is this mess where I'm living in this country that's supposed to be the most powerful, most wonderful, liberal country in the world, and I have to worry about my elementary school child being in school because Billy has an AK-47 from his gun-loving parents, and he's shooting up the damn school. So that alone was what made me pull my, he's now 14, going on 15, but he was in 6th grade, and he was like the only child we had in elementary school. Like, in public school, we had already pulled out my eldest son because he was kind of having issues with the school system just because they're racist. And so I literally started having complete anxiety and panic attacks because I kept hearing of that year of like every day children going into the schools, shooting up the schools. And I felt like a shit mom because I was like, I was really torn because you're sitting here thinking, okay, I don't know how to homeschool. I didn't go to school to become a teacher. I don't have a degree in education or any of that. And you don't know if pulling your child out is the best thing. You want to give your child the best education possible that you can give them. And even though I know their history is crap, my sons are still learning science and math and, yeah, that's it. But anyways, and then I always hear people saying like, oh, but what about social interaction? If they're in homeschool, they're going to be these weird kids and da-da-da. And it's like, well, whatever, like, at some point we got so desperate I didn't even care anymore. I was like, how weird are they going to be if they have to continue to go to school for 13 years in this oppressive system that tells them repeatedly that they're not good enough. That's what not having critical race theory does. It repeatedly tells black children, you are not good enough. So instead of them saying, oh, they wrote some legislation, who was a Cotton with his racist ass in the Senate talking about, I think they wrote some bill talking about, kids cannot feel stressed or discomfort. Well, that's what I fucking felt the whole 13 years in school. So if that's the case, then all black kids need to bow out of all that bullshit. Because I felt discomfort and stressed and just all kinds of bad feelings about everything whenever we had to talk about history and social studies, like just getting in trouble for shit that like other kids didn't get in trouble for because we were black. And we, it was just a constant assault on black children. And as usual, we're putting everybody else's kids in front. Every time I listen to everyone, they're like focusing on whitey, like, oh well, it's not to make Billy and Sarah feel like they are oppressors. They are descendants of oppressors, and we are the oppressed. That's what that is. Let's start teaching the fucking truth. The reason you don't want to teach the truth is because you don't want to cut them checks and do what you need to do to rectify the situation.